Hi everyone, hope you all are good. We are here for grade 6 math. You can find all the lessons on aplusstudents.com. You have to log in there using your email address and password as provided by the administrator. Then you have to select math from the subject tab, scroll down to grade 6 math, and then click on view all lessons. There you can find a list of the chapters. We're going to start with the chapter add and subtract decimals. Please make sure you have your notebook and pencil so that you can note down the important examples and definitions as well. Here I am on grade 6. Let's just start with the first lesson, that is add and subtract decimal numbers. Add 9.2 plus 1.8. So 8 plus 2 is 10, right? 0 and carry 1. 9 and 1, 10 and 1, 11. That is 11. Let's just start the test questions. - 9.4 plus 3.2. That is 4 plus 2 is 6. 9 plus 3 is 12. So that is 12.6. Option number 1 is the correct option. That is 12.6. - 2.53 minus 1.67. So we need to borrow 1. Here you have 4. 13 take away 7 is 6. So we need to borrow 1 again. 14 take away 6 is 8. That is 0.86. Option number 3 is the correct option. 5.69 minus 1.36. Nine minus 6 is 3. 6 minus 3 is 3. 5 minus 1 is 4. That is 4.33. Option number 3 is the correct option. Five point five plus 9.7. So which is the correct option? That is 15.2. Option number 1 is the correct option. Three point three one minus 1.38. That is 1.93. Option number 2 is the correct option. That is 0.1. Option number 2 is the correct option. Add and subtract decimal word problems. Let's just start with the test questions. Sarah weighted two colored metal balls during a science class. The purple ball weighed 0.46 pound and the red ball weighed 0.65 pounds. If Sarah places both balls on the scale at the same time, what will scale read? So you need to calculate the total weight, right? 0.46 plus 0.65. So let's just add 6 plus 5 makes 11. 6 and 4, 10, 1, 11. And the other carry 1, that is 1.11. Option number 2, 3 is the correct option. Carrie bought a piece of fabric that was 9.5 meters long. Then she cut 2.2 meters of it off to use in a sewing project. How much fabric is left? That is 7.3. That is 7.3. Option number 1 is the correct option. Jackson ran 7.03 miles yesterday. Today he ran 5.13 miles. How far did Jackson run altogether? That is 7.03 plus. That is 12.16. Option number 1 is the correct option. It snowed 0.61 inches on Monday and 0.07 inches on Tuesday. How much did it snow on Monday and Tuesday combined? So you need to add them. That is 0.68. Option number 2 is the correct option, that is 0.68. Rooney and his classmates placed colored blocks on a scale during a science lab. The yellow block weighted 7.8 pounds and the brown black weighted 7.8 pounds. How much more did the yellow back block weigh than the brown block? No, how much more yellow block weigh than the brown? The yellow block is 7.8, the brown is 2.8. That is 5. Option number 3 is the correct option. That is 5. Option number 3 is the correct option. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move on to next lesson. Estimate sums and differences of decimals. Estimate the sum by rounding each number to the nearest whole number and then adding. So 6.694 and 3.843, we need to add them, but first we have to estimate. So 6.694, it would be rounded to 7 because right after the first decimal, right after the decimal point, you have 6. And 6 is greater than 5, so you need to round up, it would be rounded to 7. Same way 3.8. 8 is greater than 5, so it would be a round up. So that would be 4. 7 plus 4 makes 11. Let's just start with the test questions. 7.83 plus 3.9. 8. 8 is greater than 5. So it would be rounded to 8. 3.9. 9 is greater than 5, so you need to round 4. So 8 plus 4 makes 12. That is 12. Option number 1 is the correct option. 10.1 plus 10.18. That is 20. Option number 2 is the correct option. .7 minus 2.1. 7.7 is rounded to 8 and 2.1 is rounded to 2. So 8 minus 2 is 6. The correct option is 6. That is option number 3 is the correct option. Estimate the difference by rounding each number to the nearest whole number and then subtracting 10.9 minus 5.1. 10.9 is rounded to 11. 11 minus 5 is 6, option number 1 is the correct option. 2.28 plus 6.57. 2 plus 7. That would be 9. Option number 1 is the 6.126 minus 1.5. So, which is the correct option? That is 4. Option number 2 is the correct option. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move on to next lesson. That is maps with decimal distances. Let's just start with the test questions. Using the path shown, how long is the shortest route from Washington to Westminster? You need to find the shortest route. Yes, you can ask question. From Washington to Westminster. So you have two ways. You can go this way, like from Washington to Lowell and then to Westminster, and you can go this way. So let's just add the first one, 19.1 plus 7.9. Now let's just add the second one. So option number 1 is the correct option. That would be the shortest route. round to the decimal. Basically, the numbers are like this: 3.6, right? You need to round to the nearest whole number. How you round it to the nearest whole number? You have to look at the very first number right after the decimal. Like here you have 6. The 6 is greater than 5. So that means you need to round up. So it would be rounded to 4. This is actually the way you have to round it off. Got it? Got it? Or you still have question? That's why you round it off to the nearest whole number. Okay, great. So option number 1 is the correct option. 27 it is. Using the path shown, the distance from Fairview to Bonville is 17.7 kilometer. How far is it from Fairview to Hampton? Oh, it's okay. I just saw your message. That is 17.7. 10.8 it is. Option number 1 is the correct option. Using the path shown, the distance from Cedarburg to Belleville is 22.6 miles. How far is it from Cedarburg to Wellington? 22.6. Cedarburg to Belleville. From here to here, that is 22.6. So 22.6 minus 11.9. That is 10.7. Option number 1 is the correct option. Using the path shown, how long is the shortest route from Silver Grove to Lanberry? Silver Grove to Lanberry. That is 25.4. Option number one is the correct option. Using the path shown, the distance from Blueprint to Newburgh is 35.8 kilometer. Blue Point to Newburgh is 35.8. 13.2 plus 9.6. So 35.8 minus 22.8. That is 13. Option number one is the correct option. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. So we were working on grade 6 math. The chapter we were working on is add and subtract decimals. The lessons we have covered today are add and subtract decimal numbers, add and subtract decimal word problems, estimate sums and differences of decimals, maps with decimal distances. So please make sure before the next session you can complete all the practice questions for the lessons we just did. That is your homework until next session. So if you need more help with any of the lessons, you can simply click on the live chat button. Tutors are available there to help you, or either you can write them down in the chat box. I'm here to answer all your questions and confusions if you have any. Okay, then that's all for today. See you in the